You're winding up. So people are laughing. He's going to charge, because all he needs is 10 feet to charge.
Yep.
He's not going to power attack on the charge, so he's got a better chance of hitting.
Yep.
AC 21.
Nope.
You roll a fucking 3. You get underneath him. You dodged one way. You head faked one way. You got underneath him.
I'm going to use my knockout blow.
Okay.
He likely will make the fort save, but if it works, it'll be godlike.
Mm-hmm.
AC 40.
Okay, so you
Popeye,
just step in and
Popeye
like
twirl.
bang right into like the underneath his jaw.
2d6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4. 14 damage, non-lethal.
Okay, well that doesn't knock him out.
Nope.
But what is this knockout roll?
Fortitude save.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's fortitude save. Should be fortitude save.
Yeah, it's fortitude save.
Yeah. The DC is not that high. It's only DC 16.
Okay, but he doesn't have like an insane fort.
Go down! Go down!
I'm looking what his fort from his class level is +4, which makes it +10. He's got a +1 item. That's +11. He rolls a 3, gets a 14.
He gets knocked out.
So he's unconscious for one round, or what?
1d4 plus.
He's unconscious for. It doesn't matter. I win. It doesn't matter. I win.
I call bullshit, Modron. I call total bullshit, Modron.
1d6 rounds.
1d6, yeah.
Oh.
Yes! 6 rounds!
He comes in and you wound up. You hit him underneath the chin. You connected with his chin. You just hit him in that spot. He makes this horrible noise as he goes crashing down to the ground and just sort of wobbles over onto his back, and his tongue's lolling out of his mouth.
Get him on the button! Yes!
For a moment, there's just like shocked-looking soldiers and onlookers and that sort of thing, but there might begin to be cheering. Roll your performance check.
It wasn't a fluke.
I have a hard time believing the gamblers are very happy with him right now.
No, they are not. Give me your performance check. As let's see if you affect the.
15.
No, the crowd is still unfriendly towards your circus, towards your ludus. They're some of them are booing and they're throwing their mugs down into the arena. There's always that one hothead soldier that has to be like pulled back by his buddy. He's like, I don't fucking kill you. Like he's pointing at Sam and yelling down. He probably lost his shirt on the for sure thing sort of thing.
The sure thing. The unblooded gladiator versus the champion.
Inconceivable, unforgettable.
Because he bet against us.
Samuel, the Stygian giant, has downed our champion. Boo! There are people throwing things. There's some ladders.
Shit bounce off of him. That's fine.
There's some ladders. There's some ladders being let down for you as hey, Sam, get the fuck out of the ring before they come down into you. There's one guy who's like pulling out a musket, and some of his friends tackle him for not like.
We're just gonna do some move action to get deflect arrows just in case.
Okay. Yeah, Ugg is already there.
Knock out the blow.
Ugg is already there helping Sam out of the ring. I suggest that we go and collect our winnings. We can always return to the pit later for other fights. Especially when Mortenzie is in better condition.
Oh, that was on. I did the thing, and they told me to do the thing. You think really hard, and you can see the future, and then you punch him in the future, and then he goes into the past. Yes!
Gan slowly rising from the muck, not quite understanding what the fuck happened. You've got a very angry minotaur.
I just knocked out a
As you guys are leaving, Mr. Bilk is like,
Fucking unblooded? Unblooded bullshit!
I'm sorry,
I told you I got new skin.
You'll rue the day you tricked me in the arena, Mr. Fink.
I did not trick you.
You need to get him branded right away. Gan will want a rematch. And trust me, I will not be able to control him this time.
I punched him the fuck out.
I understand.
I got all the luck in.
I'll likely have to bring Gan to another inn. Don't worry, we've got our spots. Good luck in the rest of your fights, Circus of Dread.
Woo!
Even Thiebler doesn't seem to be walking with you guys back to the inn. Arlen does roll over and start removing the non-lethal damage. Oh, they certainly did a number on Mortenzie. This welt, ooh, we might actually have to drill into his skull to get this swelling down.
No, that's where I keep my demons.
You do see that he does provide some medicine. He does make a couple of like cuts to allow the blood to flow out of his head so that it doesn't. With some healing magic, we'll be able to keep the swelling down. Casting a bunch of light. Soldiers are giving you dirty looks as you guys are making your way back to the foreigners' quarter and back to the tavern. Mortenzie, it's on the way there. Just as you're arriving, they found a hand cart to kind of like a wheelbarrow to wheel you back, and you're sort of coming to at this point. Oh no, you're riding in Arlen's chair, and Arlen's on Ug's back.
Okay. I am where you were. I am in where he was. Xorbinius is not here anymore. Who's pushing the chair?
I think Edward is.
Edward is not here anymore. He's not here. I have to find him.
Hey guys.
Hey Ahmed, how you smelling?
This is a different shirt. For his sake, I hope he's not in his burrow. Otherwise, he's gonna have a bad day.
It is a Pepe Le Pew, eh?
Son of a bitch. Alright, we're good. Earlier this week, or actually earlier today, I got a tetanus shot because earlier this week, I was fixing a lawnmower. And I got a problem. Hold over, there we go.
You didn't do a good job.
Actually, I did.
The blood lubed it up good? And,
Blood was excellent, apparently. Blood required. Blood sacrifice for the lawnmower. Anyways, guys, that was my update for the week. I'm ready to go.
A good show, Sam. Says the Countess.
Thank you, ma'am. It was.
I had a strange aunt. She's no longer with us. At least, I don't think she's with us. You never know. She claimed to be able to see into the afterlife and speak to dead relatives. Well, I never quite believed her. She believed in herself, which I suppose is a power unto its own. I hear that you died. I would very much likely, once you finished doing what boys do, hearing your story. She's like walking with you and kind of like grabbed your hand and is holding on your hand in a grandmotherly way. Her hands are really smooth, despite being a little bit wrinkly, like wrinkly grandmother hands.
Yep, they're not doing too much like work kind of hands.
Yeah, the work hand. She's got absolutely no callus.
Callus. Yeah, I would after revels.
Perhaps tea tomorrow afternoon, she says. All this staying in an inn is actually quite tiresome, especially when I have to share the same relative sleeping quarters. You must understand, I've slept in my own room for a very long time.
Yeah, if anybody's like peeping or's got grabby hands, you let us know. We'll fix it.
We can go and get a proper inn. No, we will stay here with our bodyguards. No one suspects gladiators to be bodyguards. In fact, no one expects much but violent behavior from gladiators. You could see that there's like some wheels tumbling, like she's coming up with ideas. Interesting. I'll have to speak to your master Radimer about how much it is to keep gladiators. You're quite expensive, aren't you?
I guess so. I'd rather think of myself as expensive than cheap.
She turns to Sir Paldro. She says, "They're sort of like adventurers, always wanting some better magic or some better protection. Gotta keep up with all the other adventurers."
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is like he points at his shield. It's not even magic.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. No one expects the baloney trampoline. Right. All right. Drixter, you can have a spot of tea. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. And if I've been stopping you, something is horribly wrong.
But Marty said I can't poop yet.
No, I do not want. Do not want. Do not want.
No more axes, please. Seen too much.
All right. Welcome back to the realm of the living. Says, welcome back to the realm of the living. Says Edward to Mortenzie.
Yeah, you all right there, champ?
Yes, I am wonderful. Yes.
You certainly gave as good as you got.
This is Widget making fun of him.
Yeah.
There is no shame in losing to an opponent that is stronger than you. This is Beric Tarn.
No.
Agreed, Mortenzie did a fantastic job.
No, I failed completely, and it was wonderful. I hope it happens again.
That is not how this works, unless you want me to start betting against you. Radimer looks pissed.
If you wish.
Xorbinius would want you to win, wouldn't he? Let's ask the chair.
No.
Oh, yes, he for sure did want you.
Xorbinius is not in the chair, foolish Arlen. You do not have him anymore. He is trapped within the mirror realm. It was he who distracted me because he needed to speak with me. I know I must find him now.
So, I won, right? So we get like, we got money, yeah?
Money that we lost in Mortenzie's match.
But I mean, he's a little wiener, yeah.
We're right back
Are
where
you
we
telling
started.
me there were no odds in his favor?
Radimer looks annoyed.
It's all right, Radimer. This would be our first official loss.
All right, so what about the other fights? The barbarian, medicine barbarians or something for you? What do you go off all pouty and?
Who are you talking to?
That's talking to Radimer, like.
No, Radimer just went into the tavern.
Hey, hey.
You run into Paul if you're yelling. What?
Hey.
You damn demis, always making noise. You know, he was having a drink with the human dude, the walking Gurk, the walking. They were drinking drinks not off of the table, but off of the serving tray of this goblin that had to be like that. Looks like he's trying to maintain a perfectly still position. You damn demis, always making a racket. What? He's giving you that look like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Last time I tell you, keep your damn demi-human shrill down. Humans are talking here. As I was saying.
Damien would really like this guy.
Yeah, yes, he would.
And he's talking about, like, his important chat was, like...
All right.
And as I was saying, best way to open a pickle jar. You know, like that kind of, like...
We are going off to the side.
Yep.
We are going to detect magic. We are starting to look through this guy's house. Like, we're going through the inn to figure out what's magic, what's not magic. We're going to go upstairs, downstairs. We are inspecting.
Okay, you do know that the Major isn't here. Roger was guarding the Countess. Magical. Okay. Give me a perception check, because you're looking for something magical.
Okay. Looking for auras. Looking for auras. $14.
Okay, the main floor, you do find some minor magics, maybe on some of the patrons. When you're wandering around and looking, you do notice that the Inquisitor, she seems to have claimed this table during her stay here. You're not too sure what she's been up to. She has been reading a book. Now, the book isn't magical, but she's eyeing you as she may know what you're doing. You're wandering around with, like, flashes in your eyes and that sort of thing.
Widget just tips his hat to her.
She closes her book and puts it down. And then she sort of leans on her own lap and she, like, kind of leans in like, the fuck are you doing? Happens every time. You just gotta bang it from the back end. I think it sends all the bubbles, and the air makes it untighten. It makes you look like you're stronger than you are, says Paul.
Widget is going to go talk to lady who's staring at him.
You're a gladiator?
Yeah. Under contract. You're, with the Inquisition, it appears.
Amongst other things.
What brings you to this kind of joint?
A bit of rest and relaxation. I enjoy studying those that might very well be my next quarry.
Widget rolls up a cigarette and offers her one.
She shrugs, puts down her book. You notice that she had picked up the book. You couldn't quite read what was on the cover, but on the cover there is a etching of a dove.
Huh.
The books don't necessarily have, like, the writing on the like on the big old sort of old timey bindings, but it looks like somebody had enough of a brand to put into to make sort of like this dove over the top of the brand. It looks really suspiciously light for the way she is dressed. She's probably not an official. Give me a knowledge religion. See what you know about the five-faced god and their inquisitors.
I know something about the five-faced god.
Got it.
This is the closest you've ever been to one, and she doesn't. While she has symbols of the five-faced god, there are some scary symbols about death and like weird things that you'd never expect the five-faced god to have. You don't know why she's able to do it. Maybe she's weird.
Huh. So, do you find anything interesting? Anything you'd mind hunting?
It never hurts to learn about your enemy.
My people gave up on being enemies of the Empire a long, long time ago.
They did they? Are your people from this world? Or under the yoke of the Empire?
I believe it's from the Golden Hills. Golden Hills is this world, yeah?
Yep. It's to the kind of north and east of here.
Yeah, I'm from this world.
So you've submitted? Or do you have special dispensation?
I'm assuming it would be special dispensation?
Yep.
Or,
Yep.
special dispensation.
Within the Golden Hills, you are allowed to worship your own deities, but you're not allowed to spread it outside of the Golden Hills. The way to do it would be to fight in the gladiatorial arenas, which you do, so you actually have like two places to worship.
I come from a long family of law-abiding stick in the muds. They get not too terribly poorly with the five-faced god.
She notices you eyeing the book. As I said, she slides it towards you. Doesn't hurt to know your enemies. Suggesting that this book with the dove on it.
I take a look at the book.
I gotta come up with some highfalutin name for it, because they didn't know how to do titles back then.
Birdie. Birdie. Title for the book with the dove engraved on it.
Oh, fuck me.
Maybe later.
That's a terrible title for a book, Ahmed.
Shut up.
Hey guys, remember that one time I knocked out that Minotaur gladiator with one punch?
Okay, the title of the book that she's showing you is called On the Life of Slavery and the Morality of the Death Match.
Slavery's a funny thing. It's kind of one of them concepts that's got multiple layers to it. What does she have for weapons?
She has a weird sidearm. She also has some bolas. And a whip? I don't know. Dagger at her belt? That there is close to heresy. This drivel has been taken from several places, albeit printed recently. You can tell by the smell of the book and the lack of must smell from the pages. The person who printed it left the author's name off. I will not mention that heretic.
I will smell. I will survival the book. Give it a sniff.
Okay.
He's also kind of a chain smoker, so there's a chance he doesn't sniff very good. 20.
You see, if people began to follow these verses in this book, your religious rights would be gone. The blood that you pay is the price for your religion. It is the price for your gods. And it is the only thing that is keeping all of this from turning into something much different. We should all loathe to return to those anarchic times.
From around here, you just passing through.
If you see this sigil anywhere, she closes the book and takes it back, but taps on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay, and know that the church Imperium has deep pockets.
The dove?
She nods.
We saw a dove lady on the road. Stole a horse.
A dove lady? You saw this symbol?
Was it the same symbol? Seems like the same symbol.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
He's talking about Lady Dove.
Lady Dove. Sorry. I thought it was the same thing. If it's reasonable for me to thought it's the same thing, I will continue with this, even if it's wrong. Because it's funny to tell the Inquisitor something wrong and then getting fucked by it. That's possible.
Do you know which way she was headed? Do you know where you saw this symbol?
There was a woman, she was called something Dove.
Okay. You have the Inquisitor thinking?
Like I said, she took a horse. We were east of here. Like, it would be like, what, 5 days out, something like that? 5 days east of here? In the woods? Radimer, let's go!
Can you describe her?
I'm assuming attractive, because Roger was digging it. She's called Lady Dove, so I'm assuming like fair hair, something. That's kind of my assumption. Do you have a token to flash me?
Yeah. I'll go
What?
to
I'll just
the.
make up a description.
I'll go to the Dusty Bow Roadside Inn, and I'll drag a token into view.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So he was.
Oh, that is not what I would describe. She looks like a crazy person.
You never caught her because I think everyone went and fighting in, and she snuck out the back and came around, and then she rode away on a horse. And I think the thing you might be crossing is that Roger's been calling her all sorts of poo-poo lovey names, and one of the names he managed to say was Dove, and now you're realizing. Well, actually, no.
No, I think she's. As far as I know, it's the Dove Lady. So Roger was the one who saw her close.
Yep.
So, female, attractive, kind of sloppy hair, face paint.
Face paint.
Yeah,
says.
and not like useful face paint, like camouflage or anything like that. More like just color splashed around.
I will keep an eye out for her. Thank you. She doesn't look like she's like running out the door right this minute, but she does pull the
No.
book back towards her. Like she's not letting this piece of contraband into your hands. What are you looking for? She says.
If I'm perfectly honest, Paul bugs me.
Oh. Sense motive?
There's a level of incivility that is unnecessary.
There's no law against not liking your patrons or being honest with your feelings.
Is there law against patrons not liking the owner?
I would tread carefully. He's been censored before, as much as the law allows.
Is the note out front seemed pretty fresh. Speaking of fresh printing.
He's attempted several times to run the business the way he wants. The office of the general has decided that this place needs this. As the needs of humans and demis are similar.
You wouldn't be getting champions like us rolling through if there was no place to stop.
Yes, I see your friends are celebrating a victory over the Minotaur. It's about time someone put that beast down. Is he dead?
Oh no, Sam's a big teddy bear type thing. The big softy. Just knocked him out, put him down for a nap. Kind of like, with an unruly child.
Keep your nose clean, gnome. Do not give Paul a reason to take out his hatred. You are at a disadvantage. You must understand this by your age.
You're just looking for opportunities. Doesn't mean they're there.
She turns like she's giving you her warning, like...
Yep. Move along. Move along.
Move along.
Yep.
Arlen, says the Countess.
Yes,
she's
Countess.
come over. May I ask you something?
Please do.
How expensive is it to maintain a ludus of gladiators?
My. That is not an easy answer to obtain. It depends on many things. I personally do not have the experience of running a ludus, but if you give me time,
She clucks like you're dancing around it and she can see through you.
I would imagine it is expensive based on the size of your ludus and how often you're training and fighting your gladiators. If you were to look perhaps at the size of our
Why don't I just look at what
circus.
you're wearing? This is awfully nice breastplate, magical, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And this little
The-
ridiculous crown that you wear, magical?
Yes, ma'am.
What about the second one that you wear over the first? Magic?
Both.
And those 2 rings that you wear? This one and this one? She holds both your hands.
Yes, this one is for me not breaking any of my legs when I fall, and this one's to make sure I don't get
a shield of that is so silvery in its polish that it sheens and
Correct.
hurts my eyes when I look at it. Is that mithril, dear?
Yes, ma'am. He
So
hands it to
a
her.
mithril shield. Oh, I can see my face. Oh, I'm old.
Hardly. Hold on, let's see if I have
Kind of like
casts.
oh, please. And this wonderful brass scale cloak. Am I to understand that this is magical as well?
Correct.
I can almost feel it
This
hum in my
one's-
fingers as I stroke it.
Specifically, this one keeps me from harm's way when it comes to fire.
And this ghoulish-looking slaver's rod and this sword that sort of lights up almost in its scabbard. Magical.
Correct, ma'am.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9
He's,
magic
as she's
things.
talking,
Yep.
he's displaying them all from a distance, like the blade from a distance, and like handing like.
Oh, they're very shiny and very nice. My point is, you have 9 magical things on you, and you're a slave. There's no slave in any household that I've been a part of. She thinks for a moment. That had more than 1 magic thing, if they were the best slave that ever did slave.
Well, we win most of the time.
Yes, that's my point.
Except
And
for
there are
that
how many gladiators in your little Circus of Dread? That's an awful name. It's good for peasants, I suppose.
I didn't name them. But let's take a quick look here and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, 10. This little thing in your forehead.
Sure. It's it's what I used to pray, madam. It's
How many gladiators are fighting in your little circus?
fighting. 1, 2, 3. 8. 8. We have 8, madam.
So if I'm to guess that you're a typical gladiator in your group, and you have 10 magic items, and there are 8 of you, that is 80 magical items, that you all want to have the most powerful of which, and if one doesn't have 10 items, he probably wants 10.
I'm just gonna raise my hand over here.
So very expensive is what you're saying.
Yes, but also very lucrative. We're not losing money, we're making money. We did not come by these on the ground. We obtain, well, except for the last situation that we had to deal with on the way. But we buy these and we upgrade our items from the winnings we make.
Yes, and you stood around for at least an hour, all of you, like buzzards around a carcass after you did away with you-know-who. And that
Yes.
that was lucrative?
It was unfortunate, but I was not going to put you in harm's way.
Oh, you're so very kind, Arlen. A very strange gladiatorial slave, and very kind. Yes, I appreciate how you look after each other. I've been watching all of you in our long journey here. We still have a bit of road to go, but I've seen enough to know that you're well-meaning, but also quite vicious. You are a double-edged sword, but a sword nonetheless has a handle. and can be pointed in a certain direction. Did your fellows mind doing things aside from fighting in bloody pits in front of screaming crowds?
I believe not. We had there were a couple of incidents where we had to go beyond when we were not fighting in a gladiator arena. For instance, Sam, when we lost him, we had to go and retrieve him from a den of ghouls. That was not in a gladiator.
Oh,
that was not.
Yes, I'm well aware of the local boogeymen in the town that I was forced to spend many years in. The Red Archer. Yes, that is why I hired you.
Yes.
But after
yes,
you
that's-
dealt
yeah,
with
that's another
Lord
one.
Hiron, with Lord Hiron Vars, I've seen that there may be an advantage.
If you have your headset on, you should mute.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yes, we are very capable. The one
Just
thing,
Mortenzie crinkling paper right behind you.
Yes, Xorbinius.
the one thing I would point out is many of our gladiators are very good-spirited, and the type of activities that they do, if they must not do them, will affect their morale. For instance, the incident on the path when we got some of these items at the inn, some of the gladiators were quite upset because they felt what we did was wrong. Although it might have been wrong, it is the least of two evils.
Yes, well, we don't all have the luxury of living virtuous lives.
Correct. I only mention this because, as you said, we are more than just gladiators. We're friends, and more than that as well. We care for each other because if we do not, no one else will. And I tell you this because I respect you. And like many of the other gladiators here, I like you, and that's why I'm informing you of the things closest to us.
Oh, I like you, Arlen, as well. While you are my senior in years, I may have seen more than you have. I notice your necromancer master having a bit of trouble with monetary concerns. And, well, now that I've seen what you can do, I feel perfectly safe around a bodyguard of gladiators. I don't ever think I would have said those words out loud. At least not in that order.
Alan smiles a little bit. His head's a little bowed a little bit.
I assume that your group wants a better life for themselves.
Of course.
Hey, Duke. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome to the
Yeah,
channel.
Duke! Alan says hi, Duke.
Oh my.
What happened?
Papa.
Oh, there we go. Welcome, Duke. Nice. Yes, Countess. So Radomir is, we help him a lot. He's our master, but I mean, as you're very observant, he's.
But. Oh, I want to hear what comes after the but. That is the most important part, she says.
He relies on us for more than just fighting and being gladiators. We do more for him than we should. He rewards us, as you can see. Gives us more of a share than a gladiator should receive, but we also do more for him than. Can't believe I got sprayed with a fucking skunk today. Sorry. We do more for him than we should. But that is also not because we really like him, but because if we don't, we might not end up being in good position. So it is a self-serving, beneficial, symbiotic relationship.
You need help getting out from underneath that necromancer's thumb. Let me have a
Yes.
think. By the time we get to Vadapol, I'm sure I'll be able to come up with something. She leans in very close. You know, my family's very rich.
I would appreciate that, madam. My countess. Serving you would be a much better life for me than being with a dark necromancer. And the
We'll
same goes with all my gladiators.
We'll keep that gloomy dullard around. He has some potential. Besides, maybe my aunt had something. Maybe she was on to something. Maybe the necromancer can help me speak to a few of my dead relatives.
In time, I may be able to help you with that as well.
Good to know. Keep this little
How-
chat to
how-
us. Keep this little chat to ourselves.
Of course.
But I
chats?
may be. Given my recent troubles, if I were to simply hire an adventuring band or a bunch of mercenaries, it will be noticed. But if I hire a bunch of gladiators, people will think I'm making an investment. And there's a whole world of adventures out there for those who are allowed to carry weapons and are really to do some
Smiles?
dirty work.
There's a lot of good that needs to be done. You just need to point the blade, name it as you will, in the direction that needs to be cleaned.
Yes.
Hey, lady, I beat the cow! Beer and pie!
As Sam is celebrating, okay, I'm gonna move your tokens into the bar area.
He quickly
Paul's
says-
like trying to keep the non-humans from going over towards the back, but yeah, there's lots of cheering amongst the demi-humans and the goblinoids and that sort of thing. There are some that don't mind that you have that you've beat the minotaur. Maybe they were thinking it's about time the minotaur got beat. But you
Did
don't
you
have to
kill the minotaur, or you just
I
knock him
knocked
out?
it. I did like 14 non-lethal damage and knocked him out.
Paul's trying to keep the whole place running in his sort of way, in his sort of very racist way, which gives an opening for Sam to wander up to Karnuk the baker, who gives you the first pie out of the oven out of this latest batch.
Yes!
Careful, it's hot.
Oh, hey!
Okay,
Yes.
Sam's eating a rhubarb pie.
Woo! Alright, do we want to do a quick rundown for Duke?
Yeah, sure. I have to step away for a bio break, but I'll let who better than the players to tell you what the fucking game is about and why they show up almost 1.5 times a week.
Work lets me.
If my wife lets me. Please, shh.
So this particular campaign is set in a custom world that is a sort of a universe-spanning campaign. We have multiple worlds, like aka planets, as well as having multiple planes or multiple dimensions. Our past campaign was like this big, epic, sprawling, superhero-level powered campaign where we encountered one particular group known as the Imperium, which is a human-centric domination machine that sort of takes non-humans as slaves and is kind of horrific in a lot of respects. They use gunpowder technology to just walk all over.
Walk all over you.
Walk all over you, exactly. So they take over like areas that still have like night level technologies, Vikings, these sorts of things.
Yeah.
In this campaign, we are actually playing on one particular planet, where they use gladiator fights to sort of quell the local population instead of sort of full-on domination. Where they fully take over the culture. So this wild land still has many other races, and they still have their own like little bits of culture. And they use the gladiator pits to sort of seek out justice, and they're used as sort of like sports heroes or like the bread and circus, where the name comes from. Now, yeah, the Imperium's massive infrastructure and their far reach due to the song gates. Oh yes, the worlds. A lot of these worlds are connected via this technology called song gates, which are basically this ancient type of technology which allows teleportation without needing to be like a high-level wizard or mage, right? It's a magic built into an item that allows you to go from place to place. So, kind of think like Stargate kind of gates, where you can move from place to place. Now, in this particular chunk of the game, because we actually have sort of two games within this world happening simultaneously, we have the Circus of Dread, which are a bunch of they were originally fresh gladiators, all sort of picked up as slaves, and being
We're a ragtag bunch of misfits just trying to make it in this crazy world.
Right. And at one point, we were attacked by drakes, and that gave us the opportunity to accidentally take control of our slave chain gang thing, at which point we forced Radimer, who's the necromancer, into taking us on as his slaves. So we've got this weird relationship with him where we're his slaves, but we're also illegally his slaves, and if we get caught, he gets caught, and there's sort of this big web of lies.
They force Radimer to falsely alter some documentation. That we call him Iggy Necropop. we use tokens or images as tokens, kind of like how people use avatars on like social media. We can show you how a token is made. All of these are game pieces.
Yes, they allow us to sort of.
We have a little preamble or a little intro to the campaign for those that are new. We can play it. Sorry for those that are not.
The raising of the undying emperor and the great player war that shook the heavens, there was an age of contradiction, where cannons won kingdoms and muskets kept the peace. A brave few won the hearts of the conquered and conquerors alike. Of these we speak of the decline of the great kingdoms and cultures under the heel of empire. Of those we speak of gladiators and the untold thousands that worshipped them. And this, an age of glory, where kings would be slaves and a gladiator would be king.
We've kind of mashed together a sports management gladiator game with story in D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
So this group is all just gladiators, and they're closer to an adventuring band than anything else. And the other game we played in this world is like Gladiator Simulator, 2018.
Yeah. So we're having fun doing it, and we've got some good folks in chat that come and have fun with us. Every once in a while, we'll get together and roll up random gladiators on random charts, and it's a lot of fun. So welcome to the channel. All right, so where did we leave off? Mortenzie.
We're having a party, got a pie.
Yep. So you're having a post party after defeating the champion of this town, Mortenzie.
I think that makes me the new champion. Yes.
Oh, I found like Mr. Bilk, the original. Okay. The two gladiators, the twins, walk in, And they're seeking not gladiators, bounty hunters. They're looking for Mortenzie. What's Mortenzie doing in the middle of the revelry, or is he partying with Sam even though he got defeated?
Yeah, he's super excited about the way his fight ended.
Okay, so how is Mortenzie celebrating?
He's looking for. He's talking into things he can see his reflection in. Are you there? Are you there?
Okay, so Mortenzie's all alone at a table. It hasn't been cleaned by the goblins yet. You're talking into. Paul has got some like actual glass mugs. You know that he's only given out the glass mugs to the humans that come into his tavern. Like he makes the rest of you drink out of pewter or wooden cups, and you're trying to keep it hidden as he's talking. You notice that he notices that you have the glass mug, but he's busy tending to other patrons and hasn't been able to escape yet. Is there anything else that you'd like, ma'am? No name Jane. How many times did I tell you I don't like that nickname? Well, Miss Jane, Inquisitor Jane, then. I'll have another one of these. And my gnome companion here will have something as well. Well, I suppose we could take his order at the same time. And he narrows his eyes at the gnome. He is just blatantly hates non-humans. What do you want? Make it quick.
The same thing she's having.
You sure you can afford it? Your master Radimer is racking up quite the tab. I'll have to check with him to make sure that you can afford that. There is something oddly pleasant about him. He doesn't hide.
Well, he most definitely is an open book.
I wonder if it goes any deeper. He actually goes over to Radimer and is politely asking. You see him turning around and pointing. Radimer just waves his hand like whatever, and you notice that Paul like gives him an earful politely about something. Radimer looks up at him. You can tell he's going off on he's going off on some rant about how Radimer just waves him off and doesn't seem to doesn't seem to be. Unwin kind of doesn't like Paul very much. Unwin's just got a much softer heart. Quit buzzing around here like some buzzard. Yeah, you won. You got your pie. Here. And he just grabs a beer and sticks it in your hands and moves by.
I got a pie, I got a beer, is what I want.
Okay. Do you see something you like? The two twins come over to Mortenzie.
Oh, no, I have not found it yet. But when I do, the whole world will change.
Are you ready to make a bit of money? Perhaps money can help you change the world.
Yes, I can buy what I need with money. Yes, I will find him. I will find him in the mirror realm. Yes, what is your job?
We simply need you to approach someone that's not approachable by us. Tell him you have something to sell him. We've got some samples. Lure him out into the street and we'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
Then you'll be able to afford quite a few glassware.
Yes, my own glassware.
Randomly, you've got one. Foxfire's got a hero. Nemi's got a hero. Frozen Gnomes has a choice of which one. Quinta, I don't know if you took a hero or a villain. And Pepin and Matmon Gaming. That is the current distribution. Quinta, did you want the hero or villain? There are currently no villain points in play. Getting hit. But that's fine either way. They need help sometimes. Are you ready then?
Not when your big swinging cod like me punch out the minotaur cabramo.
Oh
You
my
can-
god,
you can-
we're never gonna hear the end of this.
You can tell them